EMs are EMs, and they're all idiosyncratic at the same time. Is it a uniquely Turkish story on Lira, or can you dovetail it with other EM currencies?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. I mean, this idea that you can just buy high yield and you buy EM. What do you mean EM? What does EM mean? So there are idiosyncratic stories. But what's interesting about Turkey is it kicked off volatility. Volatility was incredibly low this year. Kicked off, and then one day we saw Brazil sell off 3%.
Exactly.
So, you know, there's a little bit of contagion here and there. So there's a bit of both. But it is a very idiosyncratic story at the end of the day.
Is something like Lira an opportunistic place to go long Lira, or is it like Argentinian peso where it's just that grinding weakness month after month after month?
I mean, the big thing for any currency person is inflation. And if you tell me any country's got double-digit inflation, I'm going to say to you that currency needs to sell off at least by as much as inflation. Otherwise, you could just put your money on deposit there, earn the carry, and it's brilliant. And so the uncovered interest rate parity story kicks in. Well, you know, when you've got 2%, 3%, 1% inflation, we can talk about other things. But once you're talking... So the question with Turkey is, will inflation remain in double digits? And if it will, then the Lira will drift off. When they control inflation, then the Lira will stabilise. And so I don't think it's anything like Argentina. But the question is, will they take hold of the inflation story?
Yeah. But, David, at the same time, we saw actually the authorities, stopping foreign investors to be able to short the Lira ahead of the elections. Are we going to have more measures in place like that?
Well, I don't think it was necessarily just the election. It was a big sell-off in the currency, and everyone gets judgery when you get a very big move in your currency. So they do change things around. But that's no different to any other emerging market, the way they react when currencies come under a lot of pressure.
OK, do you have a favourite emerging market currency?
Well, I mean, we haven't got favourites, but there's some we like. For example, we quite like India. We've got a small sell-off in the currency, but we still like the bond, you know. So if you find, like in Brazil, we've got a small sell-off in the currency because I'm dollar bullish. But if you find some of the assets you like there, you can still buy them.